Thought I would make a quick little short video here describing my process for nickel plating. I found it very easy to make this solution. There's a bunch of videos about that on the YouTubes. But in here, I have two side rods from an old MDC 460 that will become the Whiskey River number 57. So basically all I did was I have my anode soldered directly to a wire going onto the variable side. Same thing with my plating rig that I have right there, which is just two alligator clips soldered directly to a jumper wire. That's what the little whoop-de-doo is there. And then you can see how I have the solution. And you can see the bubbles are starting to form. Small bubbles are okay. In my experience, big bubbles are not for model railroad applications. So there are ways that you can get rid of the bubbles. You can either add a surfactant, I believe is the correct word, or you can just give it a little shake every now and then and get rid of the big bubbles. Like I said, small bubbles are okay. And on the transformer side, I'm using the trusty old Tech 2. As you can see, I do not have the power all the way balls to the wall. I just have it nice and low. That's roughly about 2-3 volts-ish. If I had to take a stab in the dark, I'm not sure about the amperage. I do know that the lower the voltage, as long as it just starts bubbling, like not huge bubbles, but tiny little bubbles, like what's going on, that is kind of the ideal sauce that you want. And then one thing also when plating, I've noticed, move your clips every now and then, so that way you get an even plating. Okay, now we have the finished product. I just pulled these out of the drink and I got my next set of wheels in the drink as we speak. I'm gonna give them a little shaky shake. Get rid of some of those bubbles. Maybe turn down the voltage too. There we go. But anywho, it didn't turn out too shabby. You can really see the scratches in it. That's only because the brass had enough tarn. They were tarnished quite badly, and I should have actually polished it beforehand because the nickel will not penetrate and fill grooves. It is literally just going to attach to the surface of your brass. But overall, it did a very good job. I am going to paint the crap out of these side rods anyway, so that way you won't be able to tell what color they really were. But that way, if some of the paint does come off, it'll look like bare metal instead of, yellow brass. But yeah, it's not that hard to plate your own stuff. Just for reference, I want to show what it looks like before it goes in the drink. And then this is what it looks like after, with a nice side-by-side comparison. Of the before and the after. You can see if you don't polish everything smooth, it'll just pick up and deposit the nickel onto the given surface. Now, when plating, you do have to do it to a surface that is copper-based. Brass is an alloy, as my drivers roll away. But brass is an alloy. It's made of copper and something else. Alright, had to do a quick little Google there, because it was going to drive me nuts otherwise. Brass is an alloy. Copper and zinc. I was going to say tin originally, but it didn't seem right. But yes, this is so easy. Now, as far as durability, the plated ones You are going to have to either touch up over time, because it's just a very, very thin plate. To make a thick, durable plate, you got to have it in there for quite a long time, but that's where the more professional plating services will do you better. I'm still trying to figure this out. If I do find out, I am not going to be like some of those guys who charge $40 a wheel set to plate your own stuff. I will give you the information for free on ye old internet, and you can do it yourself. I am not going to plate anything for anyone. But I figured I would at least give you an update on what's going on here, since I haven't made a video in a little bit, but it's starting to cool down outside, so expect more videos in the basement here on the Whiskey River Railway. And here we are. We have all of them out of the drink, and they are washed. You can see there is very little brass sticking out of them. I did notice on this driver specifically, for whatever reason, it did not take as well, which is crazy. The other two are fine. There was also, like, the plating didn't take well. I guess that was the same one here. But it looks like it's already tarnished. But either way, one after treatment, as soon as you get done with the stuff, whatever part that you did plate, I always find it important to wash it off with just simple soap and water, as essentially you're dipping it in the acetic acid and the nickel solution. Acetic acid is vinegar. So, and then as far as aftercare for this stuff, you can actually reuse it. Once you make the nickel solution, you can reuse it. Just over time, you might have to filter it. Like, that's exactly what I made here out of a former Beepus bottle. Just stuck a coffee filter in there. And it's got a little bit of sediment in the bottom, which is part of the anode disintegrating. So just filter it off, throw it in another bottle, it'll be fine. Like, it's exactly what I have here, with it being labeled nickel plating solution. I'm a simple guy. I like simple things. Okay, one final thought before I start ripping this rig apart. When I was plating things, the reason why I have the red and the black for the anode is because when you plate things, you want the things that you want plated on the positive side, which means the bubblies are coming off of it. Because essentially you're drawing the electrons from the nickel to the thing you're plating. Alright.